We got married in late October. Small venue, close friends, family, nothing extravagant. But there was this one gift. I remember it because it didn't have a name on it. No card, no tag, just a medium-sized box wrapped in dark green paper sitting off to the side of the gift table like it had been placed there last minute. Emma actually pointed it out. "Did you invite someone you forgot to tell me about?" she joked. I laughed it off. We had over 100 guests. I figured it was from one of my cousins or maybe someone who didn't bother writing a card. It happens. We didn't open gifts that night. We were exhausted. By the time we got home, it was already past midnight. Still in our wedding clothes, just like people always say happens. She kicked off her heels by the door. I loosened my tie. Everything felt perfect. Quiet. Safe. We stacked all the gifts in the living room, and that green one ended up right on top. I don't even remember deciding to open it. I think Emma just said, "Let's do one, just one before bed." So we did. The paper came off easy, too easy. No tape, just folded. Inside was a plain white box, no brand, no writing. When I lifted the lid, I remember thinking it was underwhelming. It was just a photo frame, black, cheap, the kind you'd grab from a dollar store. But there was already a picture inside. That's when everything changed. It was us, standing at the altar. The exact moment we said our vows, Emma's hand in mine, my head slightly turned toward her. The angle. It wasn't from where the photographer stood. It wasn't from any guest seat either. It was closer. Too close. Like whoever took it was standing right behind the officiant. I felt my stomach drop. Emma laughed at first. "Wow, that's fast. Maybe someone already printed one?" But even she didn't sound convinced. Because the lighting was wrong. The colors were off. It looked older. Like the photo had been taken years ago, not hours. Then she noticed it. "Why do I look like that?" I leaned in. Her expression in the picture wasn't how she looked at the ceremony. She wasn't smiling. Her face was tense, eyes slightly wider than normal, almost like she was scared. I looked at myself. Same thing. I wasn't looking at her. I was looking past her, like I saw something behind her, something we didn't remember. We both got quiet at the same time. I remember saying, "Maybe it's just a bad angle." But my voice didn't sound like I believed that. Emma turned the frame over. Nothing on the back. No brand, no sticker. Just a small carved line near the bottom. It looked like someone scratched something into the wood. We held it closer. It said, "Thank you for letting me be there again." Again. That word just sat there. Heavy. Emma whispered, "What does that mean? Again?" I didn't answer, because I didn't know. Or maybe I didn't want to say it out loud. We checked our phones, went through every picture our photographer sent. Nothing matched that angle. Nothing matched that moment. That exact second didn't exist anywhere else. Except in that frame. We didn't sleep much that night. I kept telling myself it was a prank, some weird, creepy wedding gift from someone trying to be funny. That's all it had to be. It had to be. Around 3:17 a.m., Emma shook me awake, hard. "Jason, someone's in the living room." I sat up immediately. The house was completely silent. But then I heard it. A soft, clicking sound, like something being adjusted. We both just stared at the bedroom door. Neither of us moved. The clicking stopped. Then, one slow step across the hard wood. Emma grabbed my arm. "Don't go out there," she whispered. But I already was. I don't know why. I opened the door slowly. The hallway was dark. The living room light was off. Everything looked normal. Too normal. I stepped out, walked toward the living room. Each step felt louder than it should have. When I turned the corner, I froze. The green wrapping paper was back, perfectly folded, sitting on the coffee table, like the gift had never been opened. The white box was gone. The frame was gone. Everything else was untouched. I just stood there, trying to make sense of something that didn't make sense. Behind me, I heard Emma's voice, soft, confused. "Why are we still standing here?" I turned around, and my stomach dropped again. She was looking at me the same way she looked in the picture, eyes wide, not smiling. And she said, "Didn't we already do this?" Claire was supposed to be at the wedding. That's what Ethan had said. "She might come," he told Lily the week before. "Just don't make it a big deal." So when she walked in, it didn't feel strange. She arrived early, before most guests had taken their seats. She greeted a few people quietly, even hugged someone near the entrance. If you didn't know her history, you would have assumed she was just another guest. Ethan noticed her during the ceremony, not with panic, not with fear, just a small pause, like seeing someone from a past life. Claire. She looked the same, maybe a little thinner, but calm, composed. She sat through the entire ceremony, watched everything. When the vows ended, she stood with everyone else, clapped. Nothing about her felt out of place. The reception started. Music filled the room. People loosened up. Claire moved through the crowd easily. She spoke to a couple of guests, took a drink from the bar. Lily even saw her up close once. "She seems normal," Lily said quietly. Ethan nodded. "Yeah." And for a while, that was true. Until things started to feel delayed. Not wrong, just slightly off. Claire would respond a second late in conversation. Her glass would tilt, then the liquid inside would shift after. Small things, easy to ignore. Ethan didn't notice at first, but then his phone started vibrating. Unknown number. He stepped away and answered. "Hello?" "Ethan?" a woman said softly. "I'm so sorry to call you today." His chest tightened. "Who is this?" "It's Claire's sister." Ethan glanced back toward the room. Claire was standing near the bar. "I didn't want you hearing it from someone else," she said. "I know this is your wedding, but Claire passed last night." Ethan froze. "What?" "Car accident," she whispered. "It was bad. We just got back from the hospital." Ethan didn't respond, because Claire wasn't at the bar anymore. She was closer, standing among people who didn't react to her, like they weren't aware she was there. Ethan ended the call. "Lily," he said quickly, "we need to leave." "Why?" she asked, but Lily stopped mid-step. "Did you feel that?" she said. "Feel what?" "Like something brushed my arm." Ethan looked behind her. Claire was there, close, too close. "Lily, don't move," he said, but Lily's hand dropped to the table. She picked up a small knife. "Lily, put that down." She didn't respond. Her grip tightened, her arm lifted. The blade hovered under her jaw. Ethan grabbed her wrist. "Stop!" But her arm kept moving. The knife pressed into her skin, then dragged. A thin line opened, then deeper. Blood surfaced instantly. "Lily, please!" But her hand didn't stop. It moved slowly, controlled, like it wasn't hers. Behind her, Claire stood there, her hand moving in the air, matching Lily's exactly. The cut widened. Her breathing broke, wet, uneven. Then Lily collapsed. The room erupted, but to everyone else, she had been alone, holding the knife. That night, Ethan sat in a police station. "It was Claire," he kept saying. "She was there." The officer shook his head. "She died last night," he said. He showed him a photo. Claire, bruised, unrecognizable. "She never made it here." Ethan stared at the screen, then shook his head. "She was there." But they didn't believe him. They let him go. He went home alone. The house felt wrong, too quiet. He sat for hours, replaying everything. The knife, the blood, Claire. His breathing got heavier. He stood, walked to the bathroom, turned on the light, looked in the mirror. He barely recognized himself. He leaned over the sink, splashed water, then slowly looked up again, and froze. Claire was behind him, closer than before. He didn't turn. Her hand lifted, rested on his throat, cold, then tightened. He grabbed at his neck, but there was nothing there. In the mirror, he was alone, struggling. And just before everything went dark, she was still there, exactly the same, like she had never left.